Doom is one of the most famous video games of all time, up there with the legends like Pong, Tetris, I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. But what does Doom, a 1990s first-person shooter, have in common with Magic the Gathering, a trading card game, besides all the demons, big guns, and hell itself? They actually have a lot in common. They could almost be the same game. And why not? After all, Doom can run on potatoes and ATMs, even pregnancy tests. So seeing all of that got me thinking, is it possible to have a commander deck that can run Doom? Well, stick around and find out. Before we get started, leave a like and subscribe. I'm an avocado talking about Magic the Gathering. That's pretty freaking cool. Let's hop right in. Before we can start dooming our way around, we gotta talk about commanders. We're playing mono blue, so we could run Urza, Lord High Artificer, if you want a white guy who helps us make easy mana. Or we could run Emry, Lurker of the Lock, that one Ophelia painting, but for helping us get our stuff back in case of accidents. Finally, we could also just run Arcum Dagsson, the coolest band name ever, and he's got a pointy stick who will help us tutor up the artifacts we're gonna need. Now I know I just yapped about a bunch of commanders, and you're wondering, where all the Doom at? Well, I'm about to get to it. I present, with much applause, the cardboard computer. You see, we're not gonna be using anything modern like Python. No, we're gonna be going old school with binary. Binary, for those of you who need a refresher, is how you turn data into zeros and ones for the computer to read and then turn back into data. So, in Magic the Gathering, we're going to use two creatures to symbolize zeros and ones and put them together and make binary sequence to code Doom physically in real life and in Magic the Gathering. It's awesome. So, let's introduce you to Ornithopter, a 0-mana artifact creature Thopter who's going to stand for 0 in our binary sequence. Why? Because their power is 0. Very intuitive that way. Similarly, we have Memnite, a 0-mana artifact creature who's going to stand for 1 in our binary sequence. Why? Because his power is 1. Very nice. Now we have our base 2 system complete. Now we just need multiple copies of our Memnites and Ornithopters on the battlefield so we can start coding. Let's get started. Prototype Portal is a 4-mana artifact with imprint. As it enters the battlefield, we're going to exile an artifact card. That's right, Ornithopter. Now we can tap Prototype Portal to make a token copy of Ornithopter as many times as we want once we can untap Prototype Portal. Almost identically, Soul Foundry is the exact same thing. It's 4-mana artifact imprint, except we exile a creature, which is Memnite still. We can tap, make a token copy of it, bing bada boom. Very nice. Now, where this picks up some steam is when we add in March of the Machines and Intruder Alarm. March of the Machines is a 4-mana enchantment that says each non-creature artifact is an artifact creature with power toughness equal to its mana cost, which is basically the fairy from Pinocchio, turning our Prototype Portal and our Soul Foundry into real boys where they can now experience morality and lying and stuff. Very cool, which is important because Intruder Alarm is a 2-blue enchantment. Creatures don't untap during their controller's untap step, and whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures. Now, our Prototype Portal, which is a creature, will be untapped by the entrance of Ornithopters or Memnites. So tapping it is going to make a thing which is going to untap it. Very nice. It needs to be a creature for this to work. That's all part of the plan. So, our ideal board state is as follows. Intruder Alarm, making our stuff untap all the time. March of the Machines, turning our Prototype Portal and Soul Foundry into real lads with our imprinted Ornithopters and Memnites. Very cool. For good measure, we're going to throw in a Conqueror's Flail attached to a Tidal Barracuda just to make sure that our opponents really can't cast spells during our turn. That's important because this turn is going to be kind of long. So we can make as many zeros and ones as we want now that we have this sort of infinite untap, tap, untap, tap thing going on. But as everybody knows, a bunch of zeros and ones does not a Doom video game make. So let's talk bytes, the thing that makes video games happen, because a byte is a series of zeros and ones in 8 bits length, if that makes sense. So it's like 8 zeros, 8 ones, 8 combinations of those, which means the question is, how many bytes is Doom? How many is the exact sequence? How many tokens are we going to need to do? Well, I Googled it. Doom.exe, according to the wiki, the first version, released in 1993, is 523,221 bytes long. That's not a lot, considering what we're going to have to do, though, is 523,221 bytes times the 8 bits per byte means we're going to need 4,185,768 tokens to code Doom. For more context, the official size for a tournament-legal Magic the Gathering card is 2.5 inches wide, 3.5 inches long. So if we lined up our zeros and ones, our Memnites and Ornithopters in our order of 4,185,768 side by side, it's going to be just over 165 miles long. It'll take you 8 days to walk from one end to the other. That's a lot of walking. Now, I recorded myself tapping, putting a token down, and untapping in order to see how long it takes to do this. It took me about 3 seconds, which for each token is going to take us 12-ish million seconds to do the entirety of Doom. So our turn is going to be just over 4 months long, which is the average turn length for a Grand Arbiter Augustin player. Am I right, you stupid stacked players? I hate you. Anyway, copy tokens are cheap-ish. They're 17 cents at the cheapest. So it's only going to cost us $700,000 in order to make our 165-mile-long zeros and ones binary-coded Doom. But at the end of it, we have a commander deck that can run Doom. Obviously, it's in binary, but it's Doom. We made Doom in Magic the Gathering. We can, wipe our hands. We did it. That's it. It's awesome. Now we've just made the best video game and the best trading card game combined. It's awesome. Which brings us to the end of the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you subscribe, subscribe. If you have extra money lying around, donate to the children in Palestine using the link in the description down below. And hey, I got a Discord. It's fun. It's cool. You should join it. There's a lot of people in there. It's super fun. And hey, what do you think of the video? Leave a comment down below. I'd love to read it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.